look at the lives of the saints and mystics, we find that in their lives, all kinds of people would come to them. It wasn't that they came for one faith or one culture, because their lives were full of love. And so people of the times would gravitate to them. When we look back at history, there's saints in all kinds of traditions, in all of our traditions. And what is very interesting is there's a commonality in their life. They had love for the people, not only people, but also for all other beings. You find many stories of the love for animals and for all beings which are living. And they are our role models. We need to put into practice their traits. And their traits we find in our own lives. If you want to be a good soccer player and win the World Cup, then it doesn't happen overnight. It's not that you think about becoming a good soccer player and you become one. So what do you have to do? You have to practice. You need guidance. You need to learn from someone who's an expert in that area. And then you need diligence and you need perseverance and you need practice and practice and practice. But all of that can only happen if you have a zeal and passion to do well. And so it's the same thing in the spiritual arena. The first thing which is required is to have faith in God. If we have no faith in God, then we can't go any place. Anything that we need to get to, we need to have faith in. So how do you have faith in God? Because God we cannot see, we cannot hear. Is to experience God. Saints and mystics talk about the light and sound being the two primal manifestations of God. By sitting in silence, by being able to still the body and still the mind, we can get to states of higher consciousness. And to get there needs to be zeal and passion. We need to be in a state where we can experience our spirit or our soul by ourselves. Because our spirit or our soul can be only experienced by ourselves, not by someone else. So neither our parents, neither our spouses, neither our children, neither our brothers and sisters can do that experiment for us. Because we all have a one-to-one relationship with God. And we're all on the trajectory back to God. Someone's there, someone's there, someone's there, someone's there. But we're all going to the same source. Okay? So we all can experience God. Why? Because God is within ourselves. What is very interesting when you go on the spiritual path is like the saints have talked about zeal and passion and grace and effort. The saints have not talked about that you don't put in an effort and everything will happen by itself. Okay? They say, as human beings, it's our responsibility to put in an effort, and the grace of God is always there to then propel us forward. So in these traditions of the saints, they're not asking us to just sit by ourselves and let things happen by themselves. They say, okay, we want to find out about God, so we need to put an effort to know God. It's the effort that we as human beings need to make, and the grace of the Lord always comes. Sant Singh Maharaj always talk about it as a circle of grace and effort. It says it's God's grace that we think about God. You can't force God to come. You can't bring God and pick and come. God comes of God's own accord. God is actually within each and every one of us. And it's the love of the Lord which pulls our heartstrings and we start to think about God. Sant Singh Maharaj always talk about this. The love emanates in the heart of the beloved. That's saying. So it's God first who pulls our love strings, and then we start to think about God. Okay? So when we put an effort in thinking about God, then God gives us more grace and more love. And then we put in a better effort. And then when we put in better effort, then we get more grace, and then we put in even a more better effort. So that slowly, the circle of one arc of effort brings in grace, another arc of effort brings in grace. And the circle completes, so that we do attain what we would like to attain.